welcome back to MMGinvest. So this video is going to be a little different. There's some exciting things going on besides the news and this crazy world we live in, right? First of all, this isn't financial advice. This is more of an educational channel on learning how to trade and listening to me rant about my own opinions about the economy and macro trends and what's going on. Do not invest in anything you're not willing to lose or lose sleep over, and I really mean that. And call your financial advisor before you do anything. Get there okay. All right, so let's cover. I'm going to cover the gold price and the silver price again before the markets open, and I will talk about the news as well. But first, I want to talk about something that we're going to do for the private members of MMGinvest, which is only $10 a month. Obviously, you can't get in without purchasing the report and the data because we talk about all the mining stocks that are in it. And you go to MMGinvest.com to get the report. Then we email you the next day, maybe 2 days later. And we email you the invite so you could join the private group. But for the private group, here's the deal. We need to step up our game. I mean, a lot of these mining stocks, yeah, they've rallied hundreds of %, but we're still missing some. Of course, we're not going to get all of them. But let me show you guys an example here. I am Gold Corp, right? So back in the day, I remember back in 2009, they had a press release or, news that they found a discovery. Now, you guys have to understand when these gold mining companies, in the beginning of a bull market or in the middle of it or towards the end, it doesn't matter as long as it's during the bull market. If an exploration company or an existing gold company, right? Some of these a lot of the majors, they do find exploration or deposits of gold and silver. Now, if a smaller company or an exploration company, there's just companies out there that are just searching for new gold and silver mines. Now, these things are extremely risky. I mean, investing in them is like... So it's like playing Russian roulette, all right? Yeah, the likelihood of any of these exploration companies finding something is extremely small because a lot of the gold and silver in the Earth's crust, the cheap stuff and the easy to find stuff has pretty much been depleted over the past 100 years. So that's why investing in exploration companies is like... It's straight up gambling. The odds are they're not gonna find anything. But when they do find something, the share price of these exploration companies or small junior companies just explodes in value. So a good example was this one back in the day, right? It rallied from $2.28 at the all-time high in 2011, it was at around $24. All right. So this was a small company. By the end of 2011, it was considered a junior company, right? This is a weekly chart. If you go to the daily, you could see how these things really rally on news like that. So let's go back to 2009 when this news broke. And I remember this because I was looking at it. I was just getting into mining stocks. And, by the time I saw the news, it was already too late. It was up here. But it still would have been a good buy, even if you bought at 14 because it doubled by the end of the bull market. It went to 24. But when that news broke, it was down around $2. And look at this rally, just for weeks and months, for that entire year, it just went straight up parabolic. So, why am I showing you this? Hold on, let me show you some more. This one, I caught this one in 2016. There was some news. This company bought the rights to the property, okay, in Alaska. Now they didn't get the green light and the go-ahead to mine, but things were looking positive, and just based off of speculation and the fact that the mining stocks were taking off and the price of gold and silver was rallying in 2016, which was a small rally, this one really took off, and I took advantage of this one. It went from, I bought it at 40 cents all the way back down here somewhere on this dip, and look what it did. It rallied all the way to $3.40. Of course, you're not going to catch it up there, but you would have had a few weeks to get out at $3, and that you would have done really well. All right, and this is how this one looks right now. I actually have a decent sized position in this one, because if the EPA grants them the drilling rights, which it looks like they will because of Trump, because he's more of a deregulation guy, right? This one will take off. Plus, as the economy deteriorates, governments become desperate, and that's when they'll grant these mining stocks the rights to start pulling out of the ground, and they will fine them a percentage so they could get their cut. And that's why they don't give them the rights during the good times, but during the bad times, all of a sudden they're like, screw the whales and the fish and the trees. Let's drill. By the way, these mining companies, they don't really affect the surrounding environment anymore. With technology these days, it's fine. But they do this strategically, and then they will grant them the rights, and this thing will go parabolic. Here's another one. This one's very recent, and I got lucky with this one. I remember I was researching some microcaps, and I was reading some news articles. I'm like, what the hell? I'll throw $250 into it. I did it back here in 2016 when this thing was flatline and this company went bankrupt. And the article, I believe I was reading or something, I don't even remember, but they said they were going to come out of bankruptcy, and they did. And this, it went from like 0.0001 to 20 cents. And I made like 40 grand off of a $200 investment. So here's another good example. So what I'm trying to say is, if you could catch the news before everyone else does, the early bird gets the worm in a really big way with mining stocks. Here's another one that was very recent. This was in 2018. This company also reported that they found deposits, and they're going to start mining. So they find deposits, and this thing goes straight up. And then they start announcing that they're going to start drilling on it. The deposits are there. The grade of the metals they're drilling and extracting from the ground is really high. And then it goes parabolic, especially in a new bull market. And here's another. This is a recent example, right? I mean, this thing was down at 50 cents. Right now, it hit $9.50. It's a 20x return. And you're going to get these all the time throughout the bull market in gold and silver. So if you just catch a couple of these in your portfolio that you're holding, but then on the sidelines, you just trade a little bit, right? You take $500, you're willing to lose the 500, but you want to trade and catch these things on news alerts, right? And if you just catch a couple of them with your trading capital, your risk capital, and let's say you catch a 20xer, then a 10xer, and then another like 50xer, a 50 bagger, right? So I've done this. I've actually experienced this, guys, where I took like a couple $100, caught a nice, 20x move. Then I took half of it, and then I invested it back into long positions, into long-term holds, and then I took the other half. So now I have, let's say I have $5,000, and then I caught another 10x. So 5,000 times 10x. Let's do the math real quick. That's 50,000. So then you do it again. You take half of that 50,000, you put it for the long-term holds for the bull market. Now you have 25,000. And if you catch another something crazy, like you never know, you catch a 5x to a 500x. Of course, a 500x that would take some time to play out. It doesn't matter. This is all house money at this point. And then 25 grand at a 10x is 250,000. So that's how you could turn nothing into a small fortune. Obviously, I'm not promising anything like that. I'm just saying I've experienced something like that, and it's possible. And that's what I'm going to try to do this next bull market. And what we're doing is we're gonna get some email alerts off of a lot of these, not all of them, there's so many, but a lot of these exploration, micro cap, and small cap junior companies, right, for gold and silver. And we're gonna create an SSR feed, right, where we get the email alerts, and then from the email alerts we'll screen them, we'll filter them out, and then they will automatically go to a new newsroom that I'm going to set up where the news pops up. And, I'll screen them, maybe a few other guys, an admin will screen them. And then if the news is really hot and it's really good, I say, swing trade that sucker. I'm not saying put a lot of money into it. You always start off with a little bit of money. And then if you do good, right, you turn a little bit into a lot, take half off the table, then take that half, and then you start getting a little more risky because now you're playing with house money. Once you're really playing with house money, meaning you've turned a little bit of money into a lot, that's when you could always just take half, invest it for long term or keep it in cash, and then you could become more risky and start putting on larger positions that are like, thousands of dollars. That's what I do because I don't care if I lose that money because, it came pretty easy. But, of course, you only do that once you've already caught a 10-bagger or 20-bagger. You don't do that with hard-earned money that you worked for, if you understand what I'm saying. That's my strategy. Consult your financial advisor. All right. Here's another one. This is recent. This was this year, August. This one popped from 0.28, from 28 cents to 80 cents. No, 70 cents. So, and this was on news as well. Good news. So we're going to try to create an active live feed in an alerts room or newsroom for the private members. And we'll catch a few of these. Don't worry. We just have to stay vigilant. What else did I want to show you guys? So here's the thing. I have a couple places I go and I try to catch the news. The problem is when it hits these publishing websites, right, that specialize in publishing stock news, right? And like Motley Fool and some of these and Seeking Alpha. By the time these come out, I mean, a lot of times they're pretty good, but a lot of times they're good now because it's not a raging bull market. The interest in gold and silver is nothing yet. It's absolutely nothing. It's just people who are savvy that are in it right now. But by the time these are published, it's already a few days after the fact because they see the news. They get emails, right, from the actual companies, and then they write it up and publish it the next day or 2 days later. And then by the time you see it, a lot of people have seen it. But if we could actually get the news alerts from the companies then filter them out ourselves and get it out the same day. Like I said, the early bird gets the worm, and that's what I'm trying to do. It's not up and running yet, but this is what we're trying to do. And there's a couple screeners out there that are, they're okay. They're not bad, but we could do a lot better than this. And it's weird how there aren't any real good ones right now for metals. I believe there were some good ones back in the day, but as the bear market lasted for 7 years, I mean, they probably, traffic to their websites really fell. Here's another one I'm going to try to set up. This one is my favorite. They're not bad, but like I said, we could do a little better than this. Of course, I'll sift through these, and if I see some good things here, I'll post them in the news and the alerts room. I'll post them in the alerts room for the private members when and some of these screeners, I mean, it's just it's hard to look at it. It's not user friendly at all. You have to click on it, then read some of it. It's very time consuming. So we're going to try to make this more user friendly, and we don't want to waste our time. And we don't want to get over analysis paralysis. That's what happens. You get all this news every day. 99% of it's garbage, and you have to sift through it. So it's still not going to be perfect, but we'll try to make it in a way so it is a lot better. All right, so I'll talk about this in a second. Let's do a little TA. Now listen, this is the daily chart on gold. It's on a 7 count to the downside. Usually on a 9 count, we get a huge bounce or rebound back up to the upside. And if it takes out the previous high, then we're going to 1600 or above. I don't know if we're going to go above 1600. I am expecting a bounce by Wednesday. Now here's the thing. There's a couple reasons for that. One is the Fed minutes, right? We're going to get the interest rate decision, I believe, Tuesday, and then Powell's going to give another speech Wednesday. And the market, they want a 50-point basis cut. All right? And that's perfectly in line with my TD indicator time analysis, because it's on a 7 count right now. Monday, it'll be on an 8 count, and Tuesday, when the Fed rate cut decision comes out, it'll be on a 9 count for a bounce or reversal. Also, it's pretty oversold on the daily, so it would make sense for a relief rally, a bounce, or a rebound, something back up to the upside on gold. If gold goes up, I expect silver to follow. It might lag, though, a little bit, a few days. It might lag behind. But once silver starts rebounding, it's going to shoot straight up. Let's take it down to... another catalyst is... check it out. I mean, the ECB, the European Central Bank, cut rates again, right? And tells governments to act. Fresh stimulus package for the Eurozone as growth forecasts downgraded. I mean, this is extremely bullish for metals, any way you look at it. Also, the Federal Reserve is starting to do QE again behind the scenes. Their deficit, their balance sheet is starting to grow again. So it's not reported in the news, but a few people like Peter Schiff caught on to that. Also, Trump hits out at ECB, launches new stimulus program to fight recession as it happened. And then Trump is attacking the Fed, again, tweeting nonstop, hey, look at what the ECB is doing. We should be doing the same. I mean, it doesn't get any more bullish for metals. And then Mnuchin comes out and says, all right, we're talking about and thinking about coming out with 50 and 100-year treasury bonds. And they're possible. I don't know how they're possible. Who in the hell would buy that? At the rate of inflation, if you buy a 50-year, 100-year bond, you're just going to lose all your money. Like, why would you buy that? Who's going to hold on to that for 50 or 100 years? I mean, this is ridiculous. This is insanity. This just shows the desperate how desperate governments are at this point because of their debt. Their debt is so unmanageable at this point that they need to refinance it, but refinancing it to a 50 or 100-year treasury is ridiculous because who's going to buy that? I don't know. Your boomers? Who's going to buy that? Your boomers are already looking to take their money out of the markets, not buy a 100-year bond and wait for that sucker to mature. Obviously, a lot of people don't wait for it to mature. They sell it. But the yield on it does not... You have to understand, the yield on this 100-year treasury bond, it'll probably be high. Who knows? It might be 3% or something. But why would you wait that long? I mean, even year over year, inflation will be running higher. So you'd still be losing money. If anyone, whoever bought 30-year bonds recently just lost like 5% in the past few weeks because the 30 year has been dropping. It gets complicated. Listen, it's a shit show. This is a Ponzi scheme. So this is very bullish for gold and silver as well. Oh, and just yesterday, oil to hit $100 a barrel. This is very bullish for gold and silver as well, because when oil goes up, precious metals also tend to go up. It's weird, but because it causes inflation, and the economy will take a huge hit. If oil really does go up to $100, of course they're going to tap into reserves, do some manipulation. But listen, Saudis, I mean, their output is like over 20% of the world. And so, their oil fields were attacked yesterday. You guys could look into all that. But this is very bullish for gold and silver. Very bearish for the markets. The markets might sell off based on this alone on Monday morning open for the U.S. And I guarantee you markets will sell off globally because of this. It's pretty big, So there's another catalyst. You have to understand the dollar is also pegged to oil, the Saudi oil, the petrodollar. So will this make the dollar go up or down? I think it'll make it go down as a knee-jerk reaction. And then as the price of oil goes up, the dollar might go up temporarily for the next few months, maybe a year or a year and a half. We'll see. All right, I'll touch base, go more in depth on that in another video. 17 trillion, good article. Gold should be at 21,000 right now. I don't know. That's a bit extreme, but historically, I say it should be at 3,000 right now. But manipulation and people are very complacent because of this bull run in stocks and equities, right? So, guys, the party really hasn't started. The music hasn't started playing for gold and silver, and for the mining stocks, yes, we've seen some nice gains. That's nothing compared to what's coming. All right, the drone strikes on Saudi Arabian oil facilities couldn't have come at a better time for the world's central bankers, who have been struggling to solve the problem of consumer prices rising too slowly. Yeah, so the central bankers have been saying we need prices to go up on all consumer goods. Like inflation's going to cause some miraculous economic growth. It's just an excuse so they could print money to prop up the markets. All right. So that's pretty much it for the catalyst. Let's get back to TA. Also, if we go to the 3-day on gold, actually that doesn't show me much. It's a little oversold. You know what? Let's go to the 12-hourly on gold. 12-hourly does not look very good because we had a buy signal and then it failed. It's kind of like they dumped it on Friday right before the market closed. or early that morning. The MACD still hasn't crossed to the upside on the 12 hourly. 12 hourly is neutral, slight bearish. Let's go to the 6 hourly. Nobody looks at that, but I do. 6 hourly is actually bearish. Let's go to the 4 hourly. 4 hourly is also bearish. So, I have divergence in my indicators and the TA. Obviously, if the price falls lower, like below 1490, it's going to drop straight to the 1470, 80 area for gold. And silver will continue to drop. But, like I said, I still think there's a possibility we might get another rally back up to the upside Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Now, the price could dump, right, all the way back down to like 1477, that area, and then rally back up past 1500. It really all comes down to what the Fed's going to say Tuesday and Wednesday, and if the markets continue to sell off Monday and Tuesday, which I think they will, which I also believe is why we're going to get a rebound on metals here. So let's go to silver real quick. Silver's on support right now at the 50 fib retracement and the 4 hourly moving average here. The 200 period moving average for the 4 hourly time frame. So either way, I expect to bounce something this upcoming week. I am afraid the price will get slammed again by the banks probably Monday morning. We'll see, because there's some news has come out. This head and shoulders on silver has played out pretty much. Silver's on a 6 count, so technically 7, 8, 9. In 3 days from now, we should get some sort of rebound or bounce. And I said, remember, I warned you guys about this correction. I said I would not be surprised if silver falls back to 1750. That's my target. That's my first target. And that's also the 50% fib retracement, which is, well, technically it's at 1740, but I feel like there's some buyers are gonna step in at 1740, 1750, right? That's why I expect a bounce. Also, like I said, the NASDAQ right now, it's at 7,900. If it could break below 7,900, that'd be great. The S&P, it should be on the 9 sell, or it's past the 9 sell with using the TD indicator. It's also overextended on the daily here. RSI, MACD, everything. Momentum oscillator as well. Let's take a look at the count. Yeah, so we had a 9. We do have 2 candles trading above it. So if Monday the price falls below, on the S&P 500, if the price falls below, I say 3,000, and closes below 3,000, then we should continue the pullback as I expected. And my last video that I did like 3 days ago, I said there was going to be a pullback. I'm still expecting that pullback going into the FOMC Wednesday, right? Which would make sense. Hopefully it's a sharp pullback on the S&P 500 and equities going into the FOMC. And then hopefully Powell capitulates and cuts rates at 50 basis points. Because he could use the excuse that, now that, the Saudis' oil fields blew up, and obviously there's some economic downturns in Europe that's pretty evident now. I mean, we have Mario Draghi screaming that, the sky's falling, he's ready to print trillions more. So that's a good excuse for Powell to say, all right, well, the global slowdown's affecting the U.S., so we're gonna give you guys that 50-point rate cut. And then if he does that, gold and silver might rebound and shoot past their previous high from a few weeks ago, or just a week ago. All right, and that's what I'm thinking and strategizing. Obviously, if Powell is political and he says, no, we only get a 0.25 basis point cut, that might not be enough for the market, and the market's going to continue to fall and fall, which might also be good for metals. I don't know. We have to take this day by day. So that's pretty much what I have for now. Smash them likes. Leave anything in the comment section. Please share my videos. It's the only way my channels grow. Go to both of my YouTube channels. One is MMGinvest, no space, and the other one is MMGinvest space on YouTube if you put it in the search engine. Yeah, share my videos, please. It's the only way I will continue to do this. And go to my website. Now's the time. The metals have pulled back, and there's some really good dip buying opportunities. You don't want to miss this, all right? The product pays for itself. Until next time.